Hey there, viewers. Your pet is your best friend. The two of you play together, sleep together, and are living together. It's a bond like any other, but there's a language gap we can't ignore. In a perfect world, our pet would have walked over and told their pet parent they think they need to go to the vet, but guess we'll have to make do with sounds, actions, and warning signs, 10 of which we're learning about today. What if your pet refuses to eat? What if they refuse to pee? And what if they refuse to play? Be sure to hit that subscribe button and let's get started with 10 warning signs your pet needs help right now. Number 10, refusing to eat. Responsible pet parents would keep track of their pet's eating habits. Ideally, note relevant information down into a tracker. Most pets, if not all of them, would lick an entire food bowl clean and then ask for seconds. Granted, there are a few exceptions, such as older animals. However, animals will generally eat every last bite of their meal. Have you noticed your pet hasn't been eating as much lately? Refusing to eat or eating minimally is a grave sign. One of the most plausible reasons for their lack of appetite is pain. That is, there's something lodged in their alimentary canal that's causing them pain whenever they swallow, or they might have an ulcer that's stimulated with stomach churning. If your pet hasn't been eating right for a day or two, it might not be a warning sign. For example, sometimes animals are more preoccupied with playing, or they might not enjoy a particular brand of pet food. However, if the problem persists and is associated with other signs, namely vomiting, diarrhea, and fatigue, then it might be time to take them to a vet. Number 9, vomiting. What would you do if your pet were to vomit right in front of you? As any responsible pet parent would, you'd probably think something horrible has happened to them and you would go off in a frenzy to try and find out if they're sick. However, dogs, especially young puppies, tend to vomit every so often without cause. They might be dizzy from all the playing or ate a little too much. Ideally, your pet should never vomit, but once or twice a month isn't a matter of grave concern. What is, however, a warning sign for you to take them to the vet is when they start to either vomit uncontrollably or they start to vomit out blood, or both. What would cause uncontrollable vomiting? Mostly stomach flu or food poisoning. Your pet has either ingested something that's not meant for them. For example, did you know that garlic tends to make dogs vomit? In other cases, they might be coming down with something or some other sickness, and vomiting is a prodromal symptom for it. What would cause bloody vomiting? A lump in their digestive tract, a break in their intestinal tract, defective mastication, or ingesting something sharp. If your pet has been vomiting way more than you'd consider normal, it's time to take them to a vet immediately. Number 8, loose teeth. Canines and felines practically make use of their teeth for everything. They'll use their teeth to eat, to defend themselves, or will even grab onto their young with their teeth. Pet parents need to be extra careful of their pet's oral health. This includes helping them brush their teeth once every night, giving them food that isn't too sticky or too tough to chew, and giving them as much calcium as you're recommended to do. If your pet's teeth are starting to come loose, that is, they're wobbly in their socket and your pet is now eating from one side of their face because the loose tooth is hurting them when they chew, it's time to take them to see a vet. Can a loose tooth become steady again? Well, it depends on several things actually. For example, how is your pet's overall oral hygiene, their age, any tooth trauma, and so forth. Loose teeth or weak teeth cause several problems. For example, improper mastication, dropping food, and pain while chewing. Number 7, lethargy. Your once hyperactive pet is now slumped into a corner and refuses to go out on walks or play with you anymore. What could be the cause? A host of reasons. For example, your pet might be anxious. They're unfamiliar with the playground you're taking them to. They're threatened by a larger dog at the dog park. Or it might be something more sinister. What would be more sinister? Cancer. One of the telltale signs of cancer is suffering from extreme bursts of fatigue and lethargy. Someone who has a growing mass in their body finds themselves tired more often. This might be because the metastatic cells take over normal host cells' nutrition. Plus, they consume a lot more nutrients and the body can't seem to keep up. Number 6, Pica. Cats are notorious for being picky with their meals, and dogs are known for being more laid back when it comes to dinner. By this, we mean that sometimes pets eat things we wouldn't consider to be, well, normal. For example, did you know that dogs actually eat grass to revive their ancestral wolf traits? grass, mud, and sometimes their own feces, animals tend to eat a lot of bizarre things. However, domesticated animals rarely indulge in diverse buffets. For example, your pet won't be too thrilled to find out that you've switched out their regular pet food for something new. If your pet, however, starts to eat food that it wouldn't normally eat, it's time to call the vet. Pica is a sign of iron deficiency. It basically refers to eating things that are otherwise indigestible. Now, we've mentioned how some animals tend to eat anything and everything in sight, but pica is a lot more serious than tasting a blade of grass. Your pet would begin to exclusively munch on blankets, dirt, and plastic bowls. Number 5. Urinating more or less than normal. There's no way to classify what would be considered as normal when you're talking about an individual, even an individual pet. Some animals tend to eat more, socialize more, and play around more than others. Both animals would be the picture of health, but their habits would differ. Some of them probably owing to breed and age, and some related to their conditions. For example, it's only normal to consider an animal that's played around a lot to relieve themselves just as much afterwards, or a pet that's gouged down on their water bowl to urinate a lot afterwards too. However, a shift from normal could be a grave sign. What if your pet starts to urinate a lot more than normal? Well, this could be a sign of kidney disease. Your body is trying to retain salt and would therefore excrete out water more. What if your pet starts to urinate less than normal? They might have a kidney stone or an obturation in their urinary tract which causes them pain. They might be keeping themselves from having to go to the bathroom on purpose. They might also be dehydrated and wouldn't have any water inside of them, let alone to excrete. Number 4. Licking themselves. All animals lick themselves. It's Animal Instincts 101. However, would you expect your pet to lick themselves all day long? Not really. Animals tend to lick themselves to relieve pain. Saliva has immunoglobulins and blood clotting properties. It's an animal's personal first aid kit. If you notice your pet has been licking themselves a whole lot more than normal, then they might be in pain. Check to see if the area they've been licking themselves at is swollen, painful to touch, or feels or seems injured in any way. If you can't visualize the problem, then maybe there's internal bleeding or something lodged inside of your pet that they're trying to relieve. Get them to the vet as soon as you can. Number 3. Hair loss. All animals shed their hair. Unless they've shaved or have no hair to begin with, they're going to leave attractive hair everywhere they go. While it might seem like a mess, it's worse if your animal starts to shed from patches of their skin. For example, they're losing hair from patches on their body besides a hair here or there. What would cause severe hair loss? According to most experts, it's probably a fungal infection or a yeast infection. Either one of the two would cause your pet to lose chunks of hair all at once. Number 2. Persistent coughing. One of the first signs to look out for when you think something grave is amiss is coughing. It's usually the body's first defense mechanism that kicks in. For example, when your pet swallows something too big, they'll start to cough violently to get it out of their system. They're trying to get the object that's lodged into their windpipe out of their system. In most cases, coughing does the trick, but sometimes pet parents have to intervene. They might do a simple jaw thrust, or they might have to perform a pet-modified version of the Heimlich maneuver. Number 1. Sadness. If you notice your pet has been sad lately, that is, they're not meeting your gaze and aren't as active anymore, then it's best to seek professional help as soon as you can. Your pet might be anxious or even depressed. What are some telltale signs you believe cause a trip to the vet? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Inforama for more pet-related content.